Welcome back. Today, we're going to talk about computer hardware. Do you see this? If you know what this is, drop it down in the comments or let me know. Today, we're going to be looking at computer components and how they come together to form a basic computer. I have a few examples here that I'm going to show you. And then from the live presentation, we're going to move on to a more kind of like a PowerPoint or informational presentation. So stick around. In front of you, you have a Lenovo ThinkCenter M900. And we're going to go over the basics. This circuit board right here, this entire card that is on this computer sitting is the motherboard. The motherboard allows communication between all of these different components, the CPU, the RAM, the storage device. And what I mean storage device, you guys know where you store your pictures and everything else. This is temporary storage. Turn off the computer, everything here goes away. Permanent storage, you turn off the computer, everything remains. Nothing gets lost. Right here, we have the CPU. I want to show you how to remove a CPU. Quite easy. Let's go like this. Remove it. You have here CPU, Intel. And then you point this arrow to the landmark. Just make sure it goes in the right orientation. Otherwise, you can damage the socket. And voila, you have a CPU attached to the motherboard. If you want to remove RAMs quite easily, just go like this. Boom. You have different types of RAM, of course. This is a small form factor computer, so it uses this type of RAM. You have a Wi-Fi card right here. This is how they look. Don't confuse them with the M.2s, the small ones, but I don't think you will. You have a connection there, and then there's another connection that is not there because it's attached to the storage enclosure. And I had to remove it to show this example. You see here, it fits a 2.5 HDD or SSD. It also has the ability to have an M.2 in this space right here, in this slot. And you can see it goes in sideways just like RAM. Like this. When you put it in, don't insert it like this. Insert sideways. Push, slide in, and then you push down. Then it has a plastic piece right here that allows it to stay like this. Or it'll have a screw, whatever your computer is. It'll have a different way to put it in. When you remove it, bring it up, slide it out. That easy. A lot of people tend to overcomplicate. Oh, I have to fix my computer. It's quite easy. As you can see here, it doesn't require a lot of work. Now, when you have your heatsink out, this heatsink basically allows the CPU to remain cold. CPU gets hot, thermal paste goes in here. You can do a smiley face, you can do an X, you can do the 5 dots, which I always do the 5 dots, my preferred method. You put thermal paste, which is like toothpaste. And then when you put this on top, it'll squish it and it'll cover this whole area for a better this whole area for better heat dissipation. Now, you'll also have a fan to keep that heat sink cold, because the transfer of heat happens with the air, moves the hot air out, and cold air comes in. This is the plate, front plate. You can see IOs, USB, microphone, headphones, power button. It's quite easy to upgrade. If let's say you have a hard disk drive, one of the older models, if you get an SSD or the M.2 that I showed you, this is going to be a lot faster than a hard disk drive. This is going to be faster than a hard disk drive, but not faster than an M.2. And I replaced this one to be able to use HDMI because it had a display port. You just remove this here. That's it. You don't have to worry about display port anymore. You want to put it back, make sure it goes in right, and just push it in. This is the internal components of a computer. CPU, RAM. This is a CPU, which is a brain. This is memory. This is storage, permanent storage. And this is a temporary storage, memory. You have your Wi-Fi card. You have your CMOS battery, heatsink, your fans. And you can see here how this computer, how storage devices use SATA. SATA is this one, this is power. If you're wondering what SATA is, it's a connection type for storage devices. Mainly for hard disk drives, SSDs. Now another example that I want to show you, it's a larger computer that I have at home. This is the power supply right here. Provides power to the motherboard, so the motherboard can provide power to other components. You have your heatsink for your CPU for the brain, and then the fan on top to keep it cold. You have PCIe slots right here. You have the RAM slots here. And of course, the storage enclosure right here. Motherboard, front input outputs, power. We have the backside input output. CMOS battery. Hope this helps you understand a little bit of what a computer hardware and its components are. And we're going to go more in depth on the computer. Now back on the computer, we're going to go over a couple slides to help reinforce some of the information that we saw, or maybe some information that we didn't understand. Computer hardware. Let's learn. Motherboard. The motherboard is the main board inside the computer. It connects all parts of the computer so they can work together. Think of it like a central hub that lets the brain, CPU, memory, RAM, storage, and other parts talk to each other. Everything plugs into it. The processor, memory, storage drives, and more. Without it, your computer can't run. Looks like a big screen or blackboard with lots of chips and slots. Common things on a motherboard. CPU sockets where the brain goes, RAM slots for memory, storage connectors for SSDs, HDDs, USB ports, and other connectors. Different sizes, big for gaming PCs, small for compact ones. For example, the one that I showed you guys, it was a smaller form factor, it was a smaller motherboard. And this is going to help you choose a motherboard to a specific computer case when you're building your computer. If you want a bigger card or a smaller card, you got to make sure you pick the right computer case. Or some bigger computer cases can't even fit one of the smaller motherboards. And we see here the comparison on the different motherboard form factors. Extended ATX, ATX, Micro ATX, and Mini ATX. Now mine could be considered a Mini ATX or Micro. No, a Mini ATX. Random Access Memory, RAM. It's a short-term memory your computer uses while it's on. RAM stores data that your computer needs right now so it can access it quickly. More RAM helps your computer run faster and handle more apps at once. Think of RAM like your desk space. While working, a bigger desk is going to help you. It's going to give you more room to work on multiple things. RAM gets cleared when you turn off the computer. That's why it's temporary. Turn it off, it goes away. Common sizes 8 GB, 16 GB, 32 GB, or even higher. I don't recommend 4 GB if you're trying to build a computer. Please don't do it. It's just going to slow down all your processes. More RAM is great for gaming, video editing. Random access memory, we have DIMM and SODIMM. SODIMM is the RAM that I had on my other computer that I showed you guys before. DIMM is for the other computer, the bigger one that I showed you on the second live presentation. DDR1, DDR2, DDR3, DDR4 standards are getting faster and faster. I have DDR5 on my computer, so it's just, it keeps getting better and better. Storage, M.2 SSD, HDD. Storage is where your computer keeps all your files and programs. It's like your computer's long-term memory. Even when the computer is off, storage keeps your data safe. Without storage, your computer wouldn't remember anything. HDD, hard disk drive, uses spinning disks, slower but cheaper and great for lots of storage. And I show you guys here in this example. This is kind of like the internal. You're not going to be able to see it like this, but you're not going to be able to see it like this because it has like a metal plate on front of the drive. On the inside, it looks like this. It's like a disc. You can see my mouse here. It's a spinning disc, and it's spinning to find all the data. So it's a little bit slower when compared to SSDs, and I'll tell you why in a second. SSD solid state drive, no moving parts, faster performance, more expensive but much quicker. Now this SSD has a lot of chips, and all that information is retrieved by just accessing that chip. So it's a lot, there's no spinning, no mechanical parts. It's just a chip. So it goes right in and right out, which improves data retrieval. Storage, M.2 SSD, HDD. Now, this is an M.2 NVMe. Non-volatile memory express. Drives attached to the peripheral component interconnect express. PCIe slot directly on a motherboard instead of using the traditional SATA interface, resulting in higher data transfer speeds. M.2, on the other hand, is a physical form factor or connector used for SSDs. Basically, these storage devices connect directly to a motherboard through a high-speed connection and allows for much faster speeds than HDDs and SSDs. I showed this connection on my small form factor PC. I now only use M.2 components for faster data access. And we can see here on the image, this one goes directly into the motherboard. It doesn't need the SATA connection that I showed you guys previously. So you put it in and you're going to enjoy much faster speeds, much faster boots from your computer. I personally use it because I like fast computers. And I think we all like fast computers. Graphics cards. A graphics card or GPU helps your computer display images, videos, and animations. It's like the artist of your computer, drawing everything you see on the screen. Great for gaming, video editing, 3D design, and more. Some computers use built-in graphics integrated, while others use separate, more powerful cards dedicated. And on the computer I showed you, it had a dedicated graphics card, which is a soldered component. My computer does dedicate a graphics card, which means what you're seeing on the screen right here on the right, this is a dedicated graphics card. It's a component on its own that you attach and you put it on the PCIe slot and connect to your motherboard. And this is going to give you much more ability to play video games, edit, rendering. These cards are amazing. Some computers, like my server, didn't have any display ports, so I had to buy a little graphics card that I had to put in the PCIe slot, and then I was able to relay the image to be able to install Proxmox to be able to do virtual machines. And I'll show you a quick video on my computer and the graphics card that it has. It's nothing special. It's a 3080. CPU brain. CPU stands for Central Processing Unit. It's the brain of your computer. It thinks and makes decisions. Every time you click something, open a program, or play a game, the CPU processes those instructions. Without a CPU, your computer wouldn't work at all. Think of the CPU like the manager at work. It tells other parts what to do, measured in gigahertz, speed, and cores, how many things it can do at once. More gigahertz equals faster thinking. More cores equals better multitasking. Popular CPU brands, Intel and AMD. And Intel and AMD, for example, you have a AMD motherboard. If you try to put an Intel chip, it's not going to work because Intel and AMD have different pins on the bottom of the CPU. Like you see here on the right, this looks more like Intel because it's a land grid array. AMD has pins, just something to think of. Peripherals. Peripherals are devices you connect to your computer to interact with it or expand its capabilities. Examples include keyboard and mouse for input, monitor for visual output, printer, webcam, speakers, and headphones. They make using a computer easier and more functional. Don't forget to subscribe as well. Locotechman.